Hello, guys. I'm back again tonight. I'm going to try and be with you every night on a different subject. Again, I want you to understand that all my subjects are opinion only. You know what? We're going to dwell on that tonight for a little bit. Opinions. Now, I am from the United States of America. My name is Jim. In this country, we have a First Amendment. It's called freedom of speech. Now, the definition of freedom of speech, for those of you outside of our country, or outside of this country that I'm in, definition is the right to express any opinions without censorship or restraint. Now, I made my last posting. I talked about something. I used the word, I'm not going to say it here because apparently it's a censored word, starting with a V, ending in an S. I didn't use the one starting with a C, ending in a D. I don't know if I'd be censored for using one if it started with an N, ending in an R, or a W ending in an E, or a C ending in an E. I don't really, I've tried to check the website of YouTube to find out exactly what is allowed and what is not allowed. And here's what I did find. The strangest thing, this is kind of crazy. Here are some of the words that are allowed in a post. And they really threw me. I will tell you right now, I'm floored because there are some words I don't use normally. And I would not think it would be allowed to be used in a post. This is directly from their website. So that means I'm going to assume that it says you can use them. I can tell you what they are. If I get censored for it, I'm really going to wonder about this YouTube. So here they are. You could say fuck, shit, bitch, asshole, cock, dick, and pussy. As long as they're not in the titles, which they will not show up in my title, thumbnails, they won't. I'm not going to show a picture of any of that. Or at the beginning, which I already stated, I'm talking about censorship, of the videos and not used repeatedly. Those will be the only times you will ever hear me say that. Now, it's hard for me, being a former military, who served our country and signed an oath that I would hold that what our founding fathers made, which is the Declaration of Independence and all the amendments to it, first, second, third, all the way through. It's my job, and I've been away for a long time. I will tell you that. I'm in my 60s now. In the, as they say, the twilight of my years. I know I don't look it right. Don't even go there. But it's very hard for me to deal with some things that should be considered freedom of speech. Freedom of speech, freedom to worship in the way you choose. Freedom to news. Freedom to say the things you want to without repercussions. Well, no, it doesn't say without repercussions. Let me take that one back real quick. In fact, that's kind of the next point I want to make. I'm sure there's one more there that y'all can find out what it is. Off the top of my head, I want to stay with the subject here. When we say things, I'm not giving you a carte blanche that you can say anything you want. I don't believe you should yell fire inside a theater. I don't. I don't believe in calling people names. You already know that. I've told you that before. If you want to talk to me, Talk to me anytime you want to. If you want to have a debate, that's great. Get into name calling, we're done. I don't believe that intelligent people need to lower themselves to name calling just because you can't think of a smart retort. There's no sense in it. So, here's what I believe of the First Amendment. You have the right to say words. You do. You have that right. But it's with responsibility, knowing what your actions will cause, and ready to understand there might be repercussions from said actions. Let me explain. I believe that if you go up to a black person and you use the N ending in R word, and you don't expect him to knock the hell out of you, you're sadly mistaken. He has, in my opinion, remember I keep saying this, in my opinion, that is considered a fighting word. Now, granted, it may just be just a word to you, but for him, it's an insult. Now, you know this ahead of time, especially if you say it in anger or with maliciousness. Again, two very important things you need to remember. Maliciousness, and you did it on purpose. In other words, to get a reaction out of them. Because there's a difference between going an N-word, well, we'll call it N-word from now on, or neka, And even when you say it as a white person, it sounds just crazy. But a lot of people do it, More power to you if that's your thing, okay? I don't go in for calling racial slurs. Can you? Yeah, you can. But understand there are repercussions in what you're doing. There are repercussions in what you say. My mother used to tell me, yeah, you can say it, but you're going to get your butt beat. Oh, okay, well, now I know. I can say it, but I'm going to get my butt beat if I do. So now I got to weigh it out. And my mom knew how to beat your tail. So you know what? My smartness at that time, being young, knew it just wasn't worth it. And for that, I want to tell you a short story. It's about my life growing up. My mother was a Pentecostal woman. There was one word she would not allow in her house. And to this day, I use that word very seldom. The word starts with G, ends with N, 7 letters long. I'm sure a lot of you Christians know what it is. And the definition behind it is, you shall not use the word of thy God's name in vain. So y'all know what that word is. Now, in my youth, I never thought I would say it. And my mother would warn me, because they used to say, gall darn, gall darn. Innocent enough. Gall darn. One day, I and one of my sisters got into it. Her fault, my fault, didn't make a difference. I was sent to my room. I was angry. I started going up my stairs in the attic, which my room was at. And all of a sudden, guess what word came out of my mouth? Yeah. Going up the stairs. And I'm thinking, oh, whoa. The minute I said it, I knew it was wrong. See, this is the difference between knowing right and wrong and knowing there's going to be repercussions if you're caught. Guess what? All of a sudden, I felt in the back of my pants, a hand grabbed me and pulled me down those stairs and said, Jimmy, I warned you, didn't I? Oh, mama, please. Oh, mama, please. I knew what was coming. My mother could make a razor strap sing. I don't want to hear nobody crapping about child abuse. I'm way too old to hear about it. We didn't call it child abuse back then. We called it, you learned a lesson after the first one. And she told me straight up, I'm going to spank you until you cry. Until I see a tear from your eye. That's going to let me know that you are sorry for what you said. Now I want to tell you a real big secret here. God wasn't on my side that day for some reason. I could not get a tear to come to my eyes. So my mother spanked me for a little while. She finally gave in when her arm got tired. And I'm sure my butt was sore enough that, you know what? I never used the word gall darn. In fact, past my 18th birthday, I never said that word. Because there's no way I was going to make a mistake. Now, my mom did tell me on my 18th birthday, I was a grown man. I was allowed to do what I wanted to do outside of her house. She taught me, in your house, those are the things you're responsible for. In her house, those are her rules. That's what she's responsible for, was my upbringing. Let us say that she definitely left a lasting impression on me that I have not forgotten, and I'm 60 plus years old and I've never used that word. Again, opinion, freedom of speech with repercussions. If you're going to use it, if you're going to say it, know that if you're going to stand up for it, I see a lot of people out there on the street going, freedom of speech, my freedom of speech, I can say whatever I want to. I'm not for or against cops. I'm just a straight up person. One, you saw me attack him, now you're going to see me stick up for him. If you get in a police officer's face and you're calling him names, you don't think that guy should do something to you? As far as I'm concerned, he ought to haul your butt to jail. I don't care. Freedom of speech? Yeah. With responsibility, with repercussions. You are making fighting words. You're saying those words to intentionally make him angry. Well, he did it to me. This is the same words I hear you saying when you tell him, de-escalate, de-escalate. Why weren't you de-escalating? We could all be in the right, we could all be at the wrong at the same time. But it's like a kid who stands in the middle of the street thinking, hey, I'm a pedestrian, you can't run over me. And then he gets hit and he's dead. Can it really matter that he had a right to stand there in the street and they were supposed to stop for him if he's dead? It just doesn't seem quite as important, does it? Freedom of speech is important, but people, use your head. If you're going to fight for something, fight for the right things. Know what you're fighting for. Not just willy-nilly. Know that you're in the right when you're doing it. Don't be doing it to cause a reaction for somebody else. That's not what freedom of speech is about. Freedom of speech is to say, okay, these are my rights. I have the right to free speech, and I want you to know that I have it. I'm not going to call you a name. I don't have to, because I can be the bigger person. Can you? If you're having an argument with a person, instead of getting angry, and I'm not faulting you for it, I've been in the same position. I know what anger's about. I live with it every day. Trust me, there's things I'd love to talk to you about, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to tell you I understand. And there are times I want to come out with some stuff, but I find it better to just say, look, man, we're both heated right now. I'm not going to understand you. You're not going to understand me. Can we get together and talk about this another time? Let's let it go for now, man. It ain't worth it. But I can tell you that if you use physical force against me, then the gloves are off. As I said, freedom of speech, or also the right to defend myself, will be paramount. I will defend myself. I'm not a pacifist. But I'm also not somebody that's going to go around just hitting people for the hell of it. Sometimes even if I've got a reason. Sticks and stones can break your bones. Words will never hurt you. Remember that sometimes. We're coming up on Thanksgiving tomorrow. I want y'all to remember this year's almost over. It's a crazy year. I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring us, but the only thing we have is each other, family, friends. That's what Thanksgiving is all about. Be thankful for what you have. If you got a friend in your house, you got married, or you have kids, be thankful for them. If you've got 2 pennies in your pocket, you're a rich man. Because there's some people that don't have a dime. If you've got 1 can of beans in your house, you're a lot richer than most people out there, because some of them are out on the street, haven't even got a house to be in, and are going to bed hungry tonight. That's just the way it goes. So when you think your life is bad and the whole world's against you, take a look at your life for just a little bit. This is Thanksgiving. Be thankful for what you have. And be thankful that you got it. Okay? And with those words, y'all have a great tomorrow. Have plenty to eat. God bless y'all. Be kind to each other. It's the best that we can do. Have a good night.